Hey there. Welcome to a deep dive that's got everyone talking.
The 2024 Nobel Prizes.
You got it. Specifically, the ones where AI stole the show.
And maybe sparked a bit of controversy.
You probably saw the headline. AI research snagged not one, but two Nobel Prizes.
Physics and chemistry.
The world is buzzing, but not everyone's celebrating, right?
Right.
So we're going to unpack this whole AI takeover. Is this really a win just for artificial intelligence? Or is it like a win for other fields too?
Good question. And what does this mean for how we define scientific disciplines? It's going to be a fascinating ride.
Let's start with the physics Nobel. This year it went to Jeffrey Hinton and John Hopfield.
Two giants in AI.
They won for their work on neural networks.
Their work was groundbreaking. Back in the 70s and 80s, it was like they cracked the code.
So everything from self-driving cars to like those chatbots that try to write poetry.
It all goes back to their work. It really is mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing. But not everyone was thrilled with this AI victory lap. I saw some physicists on social media who were not happy.
Yeah, there were some pretty strong opinions out there.
Like, is this even physics?
Talk about AI hype. I think it's understandable.
You do.
Well, their work was really interdisciplinary. Hinton and Hopfield, they didn't just use physics. They used math and neuroscience. Their research didn't fit neatly into one box.
So how does physics play into their work on neural networks?
Well, one of the key concepts they used was energy.
Energy, like physical energy.
Kind of. They used something called energy-based models, which are mathematical functions. Think of it like a map of all the possible states of a system and how much energy each state has.
So instead of physical energy, we're talking about a mathematical way to describe these networks.
Exactly.
Huh.
And this concept of energy landscapes isn't new to physics. It's a fundamental principle in understanding how things work at a very basic level.
So even though it seems like computer science, the roots are in physics.
That's a great way to put it.
It's like physics provided the soil and AI grew from it.
And this idea of different fields coming together becomes even more important when we look at the other AI win this time, in chemistry.
You're talking about AlphaFold, right?
Exactly. And this is where things get even more interesting.
Okay, so AlphaFold, for those who haven't encountered this rock star of the AI world,
Right.
what is it?
So imagine you're trying to fold, predict how a piece of paper will fold if you crumple it up.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of impossible, right?
It does.
Now imagine that piece of paper is like a chain of amino acids.
Okay.
And instead of this crumpled mess,
Right.
it folds into this like complex 3D shape
Yeah.
that determines its function in your body.
Oh, wow.
That's what AlphaFold does.
So AlphaFold predicts the 3D structure of proteins.
Exactly.
That sounds really complicated.
It is complicated.
Why is that such a big deal?
Proteins are like the workhorses of life. I mean, they're involved in everything,
Give me some examples.
from fighting infections
Okay.
to digesting your food.
Oh, yeah, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
And knowing this precise 3D shape of a protein,
Right.
it's like having the instruction manual.
Yeah.
It tells us how it works,
Right.
what it interacts with,
Yeah, okay.
and how to potentially fix it when it malfunctions.
So it's not just about understanding the protein itself, it's like understanding life
Exactly.
at a molecular level.
And this is exactly why AlphaFold's creators,
Yeah.
Hassabis and Jumper,
Okay.
they won the Nobel Prize in chemistry.
Wow.
Their AI tool has like revolutionized our ability to understand and manipulate these like building blocks of life.
It's like straight out of science fiction.
I know, right?
But our research pointed out that AI wasn't working in a vacuum here.
Right.
AlphaFold relied on a ton of previous research, didn't it?
It did. It
Yeah.
did. Absolutely. AlphaFold's success is incredible,
Yeah.
but it's also the result of decades of research in structural biology.
Right.
You also have to think about these meticulous protein databases
Okay.
compiled over years of like painstaking work,
Oh, wow.
and even contributions from previous Nobel laureates.
So it's more like AI is standing on the shoulders of giants here,
Exactly.
not pushing them out of the way.
That's a really important distinction to make.
I think so, too.
AI in this case isn't replacing us.
Yeah.
It's amplifying our abilities.
Okay.
It's like giving a master craftsman
Right.
a new, incredibly precise tool.
Okay.
The tool itself is really powerful,
Right.
but it's the craftsman's skill and knowledge
Yeah.
that guides it to create something amazing.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
It seems like this whole blurring of lines between different fields is
Yeah.
really what these AI-centric Nobels are all about.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
What do you think? It makes you wonder if these Nobel Prizes are changing things.
Yeah.
Like, are they making us rethink those old boundaries between scientific fields?
It feels like it, right?
Yeah.
We actually came across a quote from Giorgio Parisi.
Okay.
He's a physicist who won the Nobel Prize back in 2021, and he was saying how physics itself is changing.
How so?
Well, it's expanding to include areas that weren't even considered physics before.
Hmm. So maybe these AI awards are just part of a bigger shift?
It's possible.
Like maybe science is becoming more fluid,
Yeah,
more collaborative.
I like that.
Instead of separate fields, it's like everything's coming together.
It's like a giant melting pot of knowledge.
Exactly. Makes you wonder, should we even have new Nobel Prize categories?
Like what?
Like one for computer science
Okay.
or math?
I see what you're saying.
That way, amazing work. Like this isn't being forced into categories where it doesn't belong.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
And, it's something people have been talking about for a while.
Really?
Yeah. But think about this.
Okay.
The impact of research has always been a big factor in the Nobel Prizes.
True.
It's not just about theory.
Right.
It's about changing the world.
Like with things like lasers.
Exactly. Or
Exactly.
PCR.
Okay, yeah, those weren't just discoveries. Those changed everything.
Right. And when you think about it,
Yeah.
AlphaFold has that same potential.
Yeah, it could lead to new cures for diseases or help the environment.
Exactly. So it's pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
But it's still in the spirit of the Nobel Prize, recognizing those big discoveries.
The ones that really matter.
Yes. The ones that can change the world.
Okay, so to wrap things up for our listeners,
Yes.
this wasn't just about AI winning some awards.
It's bigger than that.
We're talking about a huge moment in science.
Where the lines are blurring.
And incredible things are happening because of it.
And it all makes you think.
Think about the future.
Yeah, like what happens when AI isn't just winning Nobel Prizes?
But helping to decide who gets them.
What would that even look like?
Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
It really is.
But that's the future we're heading into.
Exciting and maybe a little bit unsettling.
Exactly. Until next time, keep those minds curious.